Changing the subject slightly. 5 points clear at the top. Arsenal are my title favourites. What you saying, Lee?
Arsenal scare everybody.
Arsenal, yeah, that's volume 4 of the scare season. But Arsenal now sitting top by 5 points. Greatest start to a league campaign in I think in your club's history. No team's ever had this many points out of 14 games and not won the league. You're very likely, according to 2 very credible journalists, to buy in January. Title favourites?
No, we're not. And before I burst everyone's bubble, can I just say I'm supporting Argentina in this World Cup? And I haven't had a single English person that's living in England, that is born and bred English or British, whatever you want to call it, but lives in England, say to me, "You're a disgrace, go and F off down the road to Wales." Why is that, Tel? It's true. Nobody. I've openly admitted I'm supporting Argentina this World Cup. No English man or woman has said you're a disgrace. It's only in domestic football this stuff happens, Terry. Right? But we went. I think it was from January to early March last season. We won 10 out of 13 games. So we've done this before. Yeah, this time around we've done it at the start of the season. We've been superb. Yeah, Ben White at right back. Don't ever put him back at centre back. Yeah, because he's no good at centre back. Right back, he's been superb. Granit Xhaka has been our best player. When he went down with his tummy upset the other day, me and Oliver sat on the watch, like, oh no, he's gutting off. Yeah, that's the turnaround from Granit Xhaka, by the way. But we've been great. We've been superb. Terry's had enough. He's gone. Yeah, see, nobody will clip this, will they, Terry? Lee's being positive. Yeah, but can I just say one thing as well, Terry, right? I don't think we're favourites. And the reason I don't think we're favourites, and I know you're listening, right? And the reason I don't think we're favourites is Man City notoriously back after the season go on a mad one. The one thing that could go in our favour is I think we've only got about 4 or 5 starters for the national teams, whereas I think Man City have got 10 plus. Yeah, so that could help us in the back half of the season. The reason I don't think we're going to do much in January is because we threw the League Cup the other day. And again, Mr. Lee Gunner was negative because he wanted to stay in the cup. How dare I? How dare I want to compete for a trophy, Terry? My fan cam comments, oh, we've got bigger fish to fry. What are them bigger fish? That's a cup. It's a trophy. I've seen us win it twice. Yeah. Oh, no, we got bigger fish to fry. Okay, well, we'll win the league then. No, Man City will win it. Well, what are the bigger fish then? What, top 4? I'm not going to sit and tell my grandkids in 20 years' time, oh, yeah, in 2023, we were top after 14 games, but we ended up coming second. Oh, so you didn't win the league then, Granddad? No. Did you win any trophies? No. You're not going to tell them top 4. Tell me, nobody cares. Yeah, this top 4 crap needs to stop. And this is a thing that's come into football, yeah, where they've changed the European Cup to the Champions League, the UEFA Cup to the Europa League. They've now added in the Conference League, another crap competition. Yeah, they've added in like basically dismissed the League Cup. And that was down to both of our teams' managers, Fergie and Wenger, throwing it and just putting kids out. The difference was back then our kids were getting us to finals and getting us to semi-finals. So now when you put the kids out the other night against Brighton, you get knocked out. Yeah, and all that told me the other night, because we've got 2 FA Cup games in January. We've got Newcastle, Tottenham and Everton in January. There's 5 games. If we had qualified past Brighton the other night, there's another 2 games in January. So that's now 7 games in January. That tells me we ain't strengthening the squad much, mate. Yeah, because they didn't want them extra 2 games. If they did, they would have played a better team. There was no reason not to play a better team. We only had one other game before the World Cup. So why didn't you go for it? Then when you see the teams that got knocked out of that competition, and you see who's actually left in that competition, Man City or Liverpool, one's getting knocked out. Man United are still in it. So there's only going to be 2 really strong teams left in that. So that was an ideal opportunity to go and win it. And people say, oh, it's the crap cup, it's the shit cup. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, go and ask Man City why they take it serious every season. Go and ask Liverpool why they won it last season. Go and ask Jose Mourinho why he took it serious in his first season. That was his first trophy at Chelsea. Like, the League Cup has been so dismissed. Yeah, and we're putting our eggs in this top 4 basket. I don't think anybody at Arsenal believes that we're going to go for a title. I don't believe that any of our fans believe we're going for a title. Yeah, I'm the only person who's held the standards up when we were finishing 8th and 5th, Terry. Yeah, so now we're sat top. Oh, you're not allowed to celebrate. I'm not allowed to celebrate. So who are you? I'll celebrate what I want. Yeah, I'll call the club out when I want. I'll say what I want about my football club that I've supported for nearly 4 decades. And the fact and reality about it is, Terry, yeah, is I am the only channel out there, Arsenal related, that I've seen, maybe I'm wrong, Arsenal related that said, let's go and win the title this season. Go and strengthen in January. Let's go and buy 3 top players in January. Oh, but it's a hard window. No, it ain't. If you go and stick 65 million quid on the table of a team like Palace or Brighton or Brentford for one of their players, you're telling me they're saying no? You can get players in January. It's an excuse. Another thing driven by the media. Oh, the January window's hard work. No, it's not. My standards are to compete for a title, Terry. That has never dropped when we finished 8th. I won't sit and making excuses for 8th and 5th. I'm not sitting here making excuses. Again, yeah, my standards are still the same as they were every season. Go for the title, compete for the title. And we are, after 14 games, the best in the league. We've been the best to watch. We've been the best in terms of defence, along with Newcastle. We're only second behind Man City on goals scored, and look at their squad. Yeah, and we've only lost one game. I don't think anyone would have thought that at the start of the season. Can we do that over a course of a whole season? Don't think so, because I don't think that squad's good enough, which is why I want us to go and buy 3 players in January, so then we can compete. And if we do end up finishing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points behind Man City, at least we've had a go. Yeah, and then I'll be happy.
Well,
yeah,
if you finish 3 or 4 points,
moving the goalposts. Can I just say that people say I'm moving the goalposts? I ain't moved no goalposts, mate. Because if you look at my channel and you look at my comments on this channel and other channels I go on, I've never moved the goalposts. The goalposts are compete for the title. What is the aim of elite sport? How many times have you heard me say that, Terry? What is the aim of elite sport? Because it ain't to come third loser, second loser, or first loser. It's to win the major honours. That's it. We smashed the stadium down for this. So far, so good. Do I believe we're favourites? No. And why would I not? Why would I believe we're favourites? We've got no proof in the last 10, 15 years. We've been top since 07, 08. I think this is the 6th time we've been top at Christmas. We ain't won the league in any of them. Yeah. So what's the difference this time round? The difference this time round is we are what? We're what? There's no difference, Terry. We were top.
There is.
In 2008, 2007, 2008, we had 1 point less than we've got now after the same amount of games, yeah? We ended up third that season. We ended up third.
What
right?
season
was that? Because we never strengthened in January.
What season was that?
2007, 2008.
Okay.
We were top of the league at this point with 36 points, 1 less than we've got now. Why didn't we win it? We finished third. Why didn't we win it? Because we didn't strengthen in January. 2016, when Leicester won it, we only signed Petr Cech that season. Shambles. 2013-14, yeah, we should have won it that season as well. What happened? We didn't. Yeah, so history tells you that Arsenal do this quite a lot. Last season, like I said, from January to March, we won 10 out of 13 games. I remember sitting on here, you're going, you're in the mud. And I said, irrelevant runs a form that lead to nothing are irrelevant, Terry. Yeah, if we don't end up competing for the title from this point, then it's been irrelevant. I'm not expecting us to go and win the title every year, but I want a title challenge. And I've not changed the goalpost. That has been my stance for years.
Let me just interject for a minute then. So I agree, but also you said if Arteta gets you into a title race, then you will be Arteta in, which is cool. Or say you're wrong. So we're all looking forward to that. I just find out. Look, I agree with large parts of it.
I'm waiting for the title to be Arteta scares Lee.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I get where you're coming from. I just think sometimes the way you articulate, people lose sight.
Because people don't like a dominant and
confident
person, Terry, that stands up and says, no, this is this. They don't like it. They try and cancel that because they're so used to being told that, no, you have to be non-toxic and Terry, what? The aim of elite sport is to win the title, win the trophies. That's it. That's the same in any sport. If you're a boxer, you don't want to come second, do you? Yeah? You don't. If you go and ask Floyd Mayweather what it's like to finish second, he don't know. He'd say, what's second? I don't know about second, mate. I'll win everything. Yeah, go and ask Joe Calzaghe. Yeah, go and ask all the elite sportsmen and women over the years, right? That when they start, at the start of that campaign, that season, whatever it may be, they are out there to go and win the major honour. Why do you think Harry Kane wanted to leave Tottenham's City? Because he wanted to win something.
No, my bro, I understand that. Can I just get this out? Just because I don't have what I've got going on. It's hard for me to talk over people at the minute. Because I'll be shaking in the corner in 5 minutes.
Oh, you.
Yeah, I think for me, I get where you're coming from. People just sometimes have a problem because it sounds like a negative. The way you're wording it. That's my take. For me, I get where you're coming from. You want to go for this title now. I make you favourites. And I think the difference is this. Yes, you had 36 points after this amount of games and you didn't win it in 2008. Partly that was because you were up against arguably the greatest ever Premier League team in Man United, Champions League, Premier League winners. Also, you're right. The strengthening in January, I think on 2 or 3 occasions has really hindered Arsenal. And in my video where I said I think you're going to win the league, it is caveated with that's going out in January and buying. If you don't buy in January, my opinion will change, because I think you've just got to have that extra little bit of strength should something go wrong, or a little bit like Kulusevski did with Tottenham last year, or not David Luiz, Luis Diaz at Liverpool. Just that new injection of energy and excitement and euphoria around the dressing room. And I think you guys have got a great chance. I definitely think you're going to be in the running into the last few games. The only thing I would say that I disagree with is those irrelevant runs of form that lead to nothing mean nothing. I said at the start of the season, I think he'd become a title challenging worthy team this year. The one thing I would say is this: if you do miss out by 8, 9, 10 points, because you're just not quite there, but you go very strong in the summer and buy well, I wouldn't say this season was irrelevant, because it's giving you the building blocks and the experience to go again. Where it would be irrelevant is if next year you fall off and you're challenging for top 4 again. Does that make sense? Like, if this is the year where you become a title challenging team and you maintain that level for 3, 4, 5 years, then it isn't irrelevant. So I kind of that's the only element I disagree with. But Arsenal now, and every Arsenal fan on this planet, should be screaming blue murder for a massive January, big investment, one or two star level players that can take you to get you to an even bigger level. Because imagine having a 5-point gap at this stage of the season, playing well, one of the, conceding the least amount of good quality chances on your goal, which I think is really important. A really important kind of, it isn't just a statistic, it is also the eye test shows you this. Like, you very rarely concede massive chances in most games. And I think all of this for me is just an indicator that you can definitely win the league. But you're right. The Cronkies have to have pressure put upon them to spend in January. If they don't, and you miss out by a handful of points, that for me is almost unforgivable, because who knows where you are in a year's time? Who knows? Next season, you could be just as good, but you suffered too many injuries in the season to compete again.
Chelsea were top last year.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to invest right. There's no doubt about it.
And you made a great point there, about you have to put pressure on the Cronkies now. Terry, nobody cares. Yeah, like there's people in this chat. I unsubscribed from Lee because he never gives flowers to anyone. He's toxic. How's it toxic to want to win, mate? How's it toxic to want to compete for the best? Yeah, how's that toxic? There's millions of Arsenal fans around the world, not just Arsenal fans, but of all top clubs now, that accept mediocrity. Yeah, if you support Arsenal or Man United, you should be demanding the very best. Yeah, and like I said, I've not seen any other channels out there that have sat there consistently and said, we've got a chance to win it this season. I think we could win the league. I'm the one saying this, by the way. I ain't seen nobody else saying this, Terry. I think we could win the league, but only if we do X, Y, and Z. We need to go and get a better bench. When we've got Cedric, Holding, and Ketia, Marquinhos, Nelson on the bench, sorry, that ain't good enough. Holding, they ain't good enough. So you need to go and get 3 players that are better than them and put them on the bench. Because then when you do have a Jesus injury, or you do have Jesus knackered in a game, you can bring somebody better on than Eddie and Ketia. When Saliba gets injured, you could have a better backup. Yeah, you could maybe put Ben White at centre back. Not that I'd want him there, but you could put him at centre back and put somebody else at right back. We haven't seen Saliba or Jesus get injured yet, and hopefully they don't. My point is, like, I'm the only channel out here saying this, because if you ask any of these other Arsenal fans that have social media accounts, YouTube, whatever, do you think Arsenal can win the league? No, the aim's top 4. That's all I keep hearing, mate. The aim and target is top 4. Okay, well, the target was top 4. Cool. Right, but now we're top. Well, so you're still keeping that target. There's no pressure. And this is why the Cronkies have taken the wholesale piss for how long? Because they're serving up. I've done it before, Terry, with a bottle of water. And if it's this much now and it goes up and it's crap water, you still go back and buy it. And it's more next year and you still go back and buy it. The fact is, the Cronkies will churn out the bare minimum. The fan base have to raise that standard and stick it on them. And they have to stick it on them now whilst we're top. Last season, we got rid of 6 players in January, replaced them with nobody. And we missed out on top 4 in the last 3 games when we were 4 points clear. We lost 2 out of them last 3. So if these fans not learned from that, we're top of the table, 5 points clear. If Man City beat us twice, we're second.
No,
so
listen,
let's go and kick on. Let's go and make it. Let's go and sit on Man City and go and spend 150 million in January. I'm not having this that you can't buy players in January. What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. And then you've got the likes of Ian Wright, wheel out righty, woohoo, let's get another kit, saying let's bring Ronaldo to Arsenal. What? What are you talking about?
I'd love that. You guys.
No, mate, seriously, no. Don't even wind me up. Yeah, at the end of the day, Terry, Arsenal have got a great opportunity to do it this season. Yeah, but they won't. because ultimately the squad is not good enough. Yeah, which is why you need to listen. It's been great for 14 games plus Europa League games. But now let's assume, right? Let's say we get top 4. We get to the summer. Now we're in the Champions League, right? Well, do you think that squad is good enough to go through a Champions League campaign, playing your best players because you have to in the Champions League? It's not Europa League. You have to play your best, and then playing a league game, then a Champions League, then a league, then a Champions League. So we are going to go and invest in the summer, right? Because you'd like to think if we get Champions League, we're going to improve the squad, right? People sit there and say, oh, but if you get Champions League, you can attract better players. Bollocks. In the Champions League in 22 years, we signed 3 world-class footballers, mate. Sol Campbell, Mesut Ozil, who wasn't world-class at Arsenal, but he was at Madrid when we signed him, and Alexis Sanchez. There's no other world-class player that was world-class the day we signed him, and we had 22 years of that competition. We never bothered to win it apart from once and lost in that final, right? So you'd like to think that Arsenal are going to go and spend some money in the summer. So why not bring that thinking forward and say, well, we've got money for the summer. Let's go and do it in January.
No,
Potentially win the league, and then we can spend less in summer.